It's a new day, needs a new morning to start. A new, fresh, and timely topics. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the bus. And for today, let's talk about history. Let's reflect and discuss about the people in the history to make our audience, learners, and also our listeners can gain a little bit knowledge about the Philippine history. And to talk about it, I'm with these amazing people who are currently studying at Northern Mindanao Colleges. As a first year BS Ed Filipino student, they are our future educator. Let's give them a warm welcome. Miss Alexi Rose Obidinsho
Hi.
and Coralie Timario.
Hi.
Let's know and listen to their different opinion and ideas. I am Leonello Gisiman Jr., your host. This is The Bus. Hi, future educators.
Hi.
Yes, welcome to our program. This is The Bus. And to start with, you know what, guys, teaching is a novel profession. We all know that. I think the major process of the learnings of our learners somehow in our hands. Therefore, we really have to ready for it. And as a teacher, you are the way maker towards effective learning of our students. I think we're all aware of that. Okay, let's start the first question. See what's the opinion they want to share for us. So, what is your opinion about is the police force right? What about you, Miss Alexios Evidencio? What is your idea about this?
Alfred McCoy Roth's Political Caricatures of the American Era. Is the police bribed? Well, according to Kokinov, police do not receive large bribe, but instead are given small one regularly. These arrests have not affected instead of bribing the police. Transparency International's 2013 Global Corruption Barometer recorded 17% of respondents claiming that they paid a bribe to the police.
And how about you, Miss Coralie Tamario? What is your opinion about this?
Alfred McCoy and Alejandro Rosas' Political Caricature of the America Era, editorial cartoons. And in the first article says, is the police force bribed? In this article, I can say that senior police officers accepting bribes from Chinese gambling houses in Binondo and Quiapo district was a very big issue for all police officers. And I think some of our policemen here in the Philippines got involved in this issue until now.
I agree the idea and thought that you're giving to us. Both of you have a similarities thought it comes the topics of the police force right. Let's move to the second question. What is your understanding about the new bird of prey? Okay, Miss Alex Evidencio, what is your opinion?
New bird of prey. As Manila's populations began to pile out upward during World War I, housing became scarce and rents escalated. Rising rent combined with high food prices to reduce the Manila working class in sudden poverty. The cartoon's caption, New Bird of Prey, is an allusion to the most famous libel case in history of Philippine journalism in 19.
And you, Miss Timario, what is your understanding about the new bird of prey?
In New Bird of Prey, it is focusing on the most famous libel case in the history of the Philippine journalism. The context of this issue is that many Filipino can relate. It is because of the taxes we pay every month or a year as the time goes on. The prices of goods and the rents of the housing go up, making it even more difficult for the Filipino people. And it is because of the people who enforce the law to increase the price of the purchase and rents of houses whose beneficiaries are only the wealthy.
Okay, let's move to the third question. What can you say about while the price lives alone in a big building? Alex Rose Evidencio, what can you say about that?
While the priest lives alone in a big building, the question of church property was a particularly sensitive one for nationalists in 1906. The Philippine Supreme Court had ruled that the Roman Catholic Church was the legal owner of all disputed properties. The church originally acquired the land shown in this cartoon during the mid-19th century from Alejandro Rosas.
And also, Miss Timayo, what can you say about the question number 3, while the price lives alone in a big building? What can you say about that?
The next article, While the Press Live Alone in a Big Building. I think the point of the publishers of this issue is that the priest lives in a big residence. But for me, it is not bad that the priest is living in the house of God, because here the priest can have compassion by praying for all the people.
Let's move for the fourth question. What is your thought or ideas about liberty, equality, and fraternity? Okay, Miss Obidensya?
Liberty, equality, fraternity. Power which relies on arm, might to enforce obedience, and simulate public respect by its very nature isn't gentle, can never civil, will always ride roughshoods over others.
And how about you, Mr. Mario? What is your opinion and ideas?
And in my understanding of liberty, equality, and fraternity is that from this article, respect is valued and given only to those who deserve to be respected. A person with a high rank does not need one just to be respected by his fellow men. He also needs unity to maintain the order of each other.
Okay, let's move for the final question. Question number 5. What can you say about the returning student? How about you, Miss Alexi Obidensya?
The returning students. When Manila emerged as the National Center for University Education during the 1920s, the annual march ritual of the city-wise student returning home his village was played out in barrios across the archipelago. For after all, the students, like the rest of us, is human, and also all of us expand in an atmosphere of homage and hero worship. Nor do student days and these joyful homecomings last forever.
I agree your opinion, Miss Obidensya. And also for the final question, Mr. Mario, what can you say about the returning student?
From the editorial cartoon article, The Returning Student. In this article, I think some of the students are more likely this kind of behavior. But for me, as a student, there is no need to change yourself just to impress others that you finish your study. Instead, to be true to yourself of who you are and to express yourself of what you can do to your community.
Okay guys, thank you very much to your ideas that brings brightness to all these questions. And you really have a good opinions about it. So thank you very much for that. So on the end of the day, teachers are teachers. It is still a noble profession, and as a future educator, we have to get ready for ourselves always. We have to be knowledgeable enough in terms of imparting knowledge to the learners and in terms of handling them properly. So again, thank you very much for joining us here. Thank you very much for your presence. It's a really good morning, and thank you very much for joining. Once again, I'm Leonardo G. Siman Jr. and this is The Bus. Wow!